This is an emergency broadcast.
Getting errors on the silo feeds.
Lights are flickering. Check the main power.
Everything just went black.
In 1967, 10 American nuclear missiles suddenly shut down at a military base in Montana. At the exact same time, security guards reported a glowing object hovering above the facility. Moments earlier, the missiles had been fully operational. Then, they all went offline simultaneously.
Yup. This is the part where I start wondering who actually has the launch codes.
But that strange incident may be a part of a much larger pattern. Because for nearly a century, military pilots reported seeing unidentified objects during war. From the skies over Europe in World War II, to the jungles of Vietnam, to modern encounters recorded by advanced military sensors. Unidentified objects appearing during humanity's most violent moments. And sometimes, they don't just watch. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss this one. To understand where the mystery begins, we need to go back to the skies over Europe during World War II. During bombing missions over Germany, Allied pilots began reporting strange glowing spheres flying alongside their aircraft. They called them Foo Fighters. These objects appeared as bright balls of light that could maneuver rapidly, change directions instantly, and sometimes fly in formation with the bombers. Sometimes they followed aircraft for miles, other times they simply vanished.
Imagine flying through anti-aircraft fire and suddenly glowing orbs start escorting your plane like it's a friggin' parade.
That sure is strange, but even stranger, both sides of the war reported seeing the same thing. American pilots thought they were secret German weapons.
What in the hell is that? Bogies, 11 o'clock. They're glowing. Must be German tech. Stay sharp.
And the German pilots believed they were Allied technology. But after the war ended, neither side could explain what they saw, which left one unsettling possibility. Maybe they didn't belong to either side. But the Foo Fighters were only the beginning, because what happened during later wars made those sightings look almost normal. During the Vietnam War, American pilots and helicopter crews reported encounters with mysterious aerial objects. Some described glowing spheres pacing their aircraft. Others said the objects accelerated faster than anything they had ever seen before. In several of the reports, the object suddenly shot straight up and disappeared into the sky. And sightings like these weren't limited to Vietnam. Similar encounters were reported during later conflicts, including the Gulf War and modern military operations. Pilots described triangular crafts flying silently at extreme speeds. Radar operators detected objects performed maneuvers impossible for a conventional aircraft. But things became even more interesting in the 21st century, because modern military technology suddenly made it much harder to dismiss these encounters. Advanced radar systems, infrared targeting cameras, satellite tracking. And despite all this technology, unidentified objects were still being detected. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 2004 when US Navy pilots encountered an object now known as the Tic Tac. The craft had no visible wings, no exhaust, and no propulsion system that we're aware of. Yet, it could accelerate at incredible speed and maneuver in ways that seemed to defy physics.
So let me get this straight. The most advanced fighter jets on Earth met something shaped like a breath mint and couldn't catch it. Okay? Makes sense, man.
Precisely. But the strangest connection between UFOs and war may involve the most dangerous weapon humanity has ever created: the nuclear bomb. For decades, reports have surfaced that unidentified objects have appeared near nuclear missile bases. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1967 at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. According to former Air Force officer Robert Salas, security guards reported seeing a glowing red object hovering above the facility. Moments later, 10 nuclear missiles suddenly went offline.
Hold on. Let me get this straight, guy. The missiles just shut themselves off?
According to the witnesses, yes, the systems had been functioning normally only moments before. Then suddenly, they were completely inoperable. Engineers investigated the shutdown but were unable to determine the cause. And the Malmstrom incident may not have been the only one, because another Cold War story suggests something even stranger may have happened. In 1964, During a U.S. nuclear missile test in the Pacific, a high-speed camera was recording the launch of a dummy nuclear warhead. Years later, Air Force officer Robert Jacobs claimed that when the film was analyzed, something unexpected appeared in the footage. According to Jacobs, a disc-shaped object suddenly entered the frame. It circled the warhead in flight. Then it fired several beams of light toward the missile. Moments later, the warhead tumbled out of the sky, out of control, and fell into the ocean.
So you're telling me, something shows up, saps the friggin' nukes, and everyone keeps their mouth shut like it's a RICO case? They don't make them like that anymore, let me tell you, my friend.
Well, that's the claim. And stories like these have led some researchers to speculate about something unsettling. What if unidentified objects are monitoring humanity's nuclear weapons? Even more disturbing, what if they're capable of interfering with them? Of course, skeptics argue that there are simpler explanations, such as equipment failures and radar anomalies. Eyewitness accounts can be unreliable. But even today, those former military personnel insist the encounters were real and have never been fully explained. Which leaves us with a mystery that has followed human conflict for nearly a century. From the Foo Fighters of World War II to the skies over Vietnam, to modern encounters tracked by advanced military systems. Unidentified objects are appearing whenever humanity goes to war, watching, tracking, and sometimes even interacting with our most powerful weapons. So, what are these flying objects? Secret experimental technology? Misidentified natural phenomenon? Or something far more mysterious?
Personally, I'm hoping these are some, what you might call them, swamp gas or something, because I felt better when the government men were telling us we was crazy for thinking UFOs were real.
Me too. But one thing is certain, as long as war continues, humanity will keep watching the skies. And sometimes, the skies will be watching back. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. Please hit subscribe, like, and drop a comment with your thoughts. That's a huge help to the channel, plus the big guy would really love you for it.
Here is some parting advice for you dumb humans. If you don't want to see those things in the sky, quit starting these stupid wars because, my friend, war is bad for business.
Touche, my friend. As always, I'm your host, Adam. That's Mr. Bear. Until next time, be good or be good at it.